I'm an askhole. An askhole is somebody that constantly gets advice from everybody, but then totally disregards it. Let me explain. I started the University of New Brunswick in 2014 after I moved here from Toronto, broken from a deteriorated marriage. At the time, I had a grade 8 education, and I suddenly was the full-time custodian of 3 tiny boys. They needed more from me. I needed more from me. I was broken. I was sad. I didn't know how to change my life. I didn't know what to do. I looked inside of the bathroom mirror, and when I looked inside of the mirror, I felt failure. I felt defeat. And I said, I'm going to do something about this. I'm going to change something. But first, I'm going to brush my hair. So I came to University of New Brunswick, and I enrolled in something called the STAR program. The STAR program is for students that if you don't have a high school education, like myself, if you maintain a C+ or higher, you could transfer into the degree program of your choice. So that day was very difficult. The most difficult part of signing up for university was signing up for university. And when I pulled out of the university, in my rearview mirror, there was a reflection. It said, objects in mirror are closer than they appear. University was closer to me at the time. I just didn't see it yet. I had a lot of stuff to do at the time. I had kids to get enrolled into school. I had to get my life in order. It was hard. It was so, so hard. University is catered toward the demographics of ages 18 to 24 years old. I'm a 34-year-old. What was I doing here? I had to learn how to become a student again. I had to sit inside of classroom. I had to learn how to read. I had to learn how to talk better. I had to learn how to type better. I had to get confidence. I had so much to do. The odds were so against me. And with somebody with my social economical background, it just didn't seem like the place for me at the time. Nobody in my family finished high school. Nobody in my family attended university. This was the first. This was the first of a lot of firsts for me. While I was doing my general education diploma, while I was doing my university, I decided I wanted to obtain my GED. I thought I might as well. I didn't need it at the time, but it was something inside of me that was burning. It was something that I wanted to do. November the 21st, 2015, I received my successful diploma in the mail, and I can still cry when I look at that. I was so uncomfortable doing these things. I wanted to quit university. I wanted to quit university so bad, so many times. I would bang my head off the desk in frustration. I would tell myself just one more day, just one more time. I need to be working. I need to be a mom. How am I going to find balance? This is a lot of stuff to deal with. But for some reason, I kept going. And we're so fortunate that the University of New Brunswick houses such amazing staff, such amazing people here that really care. Because somebody that was so broken at the time, I needed somebody to believe in me when I couldn't believe in myself. And I'm so lucky that sometimes when somebody gives you a little bit, you can run with that. And that's what I did. I had this voice inside of my head that would tell me, you can't do this, you shouldn't be here. And that voice was always louder than me my entire life. That voice would always, if you listen to that voice will consume you. The first time that I realized that I was overcoming my inner assholism was when I was reading a book. I thought to myself, I like the looks of books. Books seem nice. I like the smell of them. I want to write a book. So I talked to a few of my scholarly friends. I talked to some people around, and they said, that's a great idea, but you need to learn how to write first. And I was a horrible writer. I was a terrible writer. I would have to write something 5 times to just be okay because of the gap that I had in my education. A week later, I went into the bookstore, and I said, I need to speak to the manager. I want to talk to her about my book. And when I went in, she showed me the local author section. She showed me all around, and she said, and it was a very impressive section. She said, so you're an author? And I said, yeah, that felt real good. Her telling me that I'm an author, and I pictured myself in a lineup with thousands of people around signing my book. No, you can call me Mandy, not Mandy-Lynn. It's okay. I just seen that vision. I seen the end vision of it. That was my inner askhole. I seen the end, but I didn't know how to develop it at the time. She said, can I see a copy of your book? I can see if it meets the criteria to be able to be placed on the shelf. I said, I don't have a copy of it yet. She said, okay, that's fine. What about your manuscript? And I said, I don't have that here with me either. And she said, okay, well, where is that? And I said, well, it's right here. So she got a little nervous. She was stumbling for her words. Didn't want just to not set the crazy person off in the mall. And she said, well, you can't sell an idea. We would need the book first. And so then I set out to do it properly. And now I have a book coming out next month because I embraced my inner askholism. I had a hard time finding my voice, so I started to do the things that made me feel uncomfortable because of the University of New Brunswick. I started a radio show, and I learned how to find my voice just here on Local 107.3. I just started my own radio show and was able to start by doing small interviews to be able to get more comfortable. And that's what I did. I was finding my voice while hearing other people's voice in the community. And it wasn't until I took a camera out in the community and I wanted to interview other people that did volunteer work. I wanted to know why people did what they did. As a single parent that doesn't have much to offer, I wanted to know if other people are out there that were like me. Because, see, I was used to being on the receiving end. I created a less than mediocre video, but the takeaway from that was much more important. I got to interview local community members around that maybe they didn't have money, but they had a little extra time to give or a little extra something. And that helped me be able to spread my passion. I started doing comedy. I started emceeing around in the area. Because of the skills that I've learned at the university, I've helped raise over $15,000 in the last 2 years for local charities. I've been able to call upon our politicians, our comedians, our artists and friends and say, hey, can we get together, have an event, and make money for an amazing cause? And because of our community and because of our awesomeness, we're able to do that. I've been able to see firsthand, but also be able to help firsthand by understanding what the people's needs are, because we all know what the people's needs are. We all understand what they are. You can drive past a woman that is prostituting in the street. You can watch people that are fighting over a jacket to be warm, but I don't want to ignore that. I want to help. I want to do something, and I know that we all want to do something too. Embracing your inner askholism and developing it is very important. If you have a voice inside of you, and that voice is taking over you, you need to rise above that voice. You need to be able to overcome it, to be able to overcome yourself. Steve Jobs was more afraid of death than failure. Malala Yousafzai had two choices: stay quiet and be killed, or speak up and be killed. Thank you.